Hello, my name is John Bruni, and I would like to welcome you today to this special edition of Black Friday, in which I shall take my book, the new one, Tales of Unspeakable Taste. There's a story in there called, Hey, Black Friday. So, without further ado, it's 11:59 p.m., and Rick Denning is ready. He's worked in retail for 30 years, and he's watched Black Friday get worse and worse. He knows this time will be bad. The crowd pushes against the doors, eyes rabid and rolling. The clock hits midnight. It's official. He nods to Eric Vasquez and Dina and Trevor. They're young and quick, so he has every confidence in them. They approach the doors and in unison unlock them. Dina is fleet of foot and she jumps back and takes cover against the wall. Eric is not so lucky. The door swings open and breaks against his face. He screams, shards of broken glass leaking blood down his cheeks. He falls and is promptly trampled. He might make it, but never mind. Someone steps on his throat. The rush is over. The screams and fighting have begun in the store. Rick and Dina approach Eric's ruined body. He twitches, trying to breathe through a crushed trachea. Sorry, son, Rick says. He unholsters his weapon and aims it at Eric's head. You did good. Eric closes his eyes, and Rick puts him out of his misery. Dina sniffs and wipes away a tear. He was one of the few cool guys around here. I'll miss him. Now let's make sure everyone behaves. Rick sees an altercation brewing in the toy department. Two grown men wrestle with a giant Millennium Falcon set between them. A little boy clutches at the leg of one of them. You're an adult, the father yells. This is for my kid. Fuck your kid. I love Star Wars and he can't have it. The father stomps his enemy's foot. The other guy screams and lets go of the toy. Ha! You lose, asshole! The other guy doesn't hesitate. He kicks the 5-year-old in the face, crushing his skull. The father howls and drops the falcon. He cradles his dead son as the asshole picks up his prize. Rick shoots him in the face. Can't suffer a guy like that to live. The asshole doesn't even hit the ground before someone else grabs the falcon and runs. Gunfire erupts from the sporting goods section. Shit. Time to upgrade. Rick goes to the office for his M16. He's always hoped it would never come to this, but he'd been a military man going all the way back to the Boy Scouts. Damn straight he is going to be prepared. Two groups of gun nuts stand off against each other by the hunting supplies. They only have handguns, but this has to stop. Rick knows talking will get him nowhere, so he switches to auto and mows them all down. Blood and guts splash all over the floor. But there are no more gunshots. He reloads, just in case. In lingerie, Rick finds a young woman trampled to death. A middle-aged fat man drags her toward the dressing rooms while he rubs the lump at the front of his pants. Rick draws down on him. Wait, don't shoot! You gonna tell me you weren't gonna rape her corpse? Rick asks. Rape? No. She's dead. You gotta be alive to be raped. This won't bother her none. Rick fires, turning the rapist's head to mush. Then he looks at the clock. Only 1 hour has passed? He thinks he's getting too old for this shit. Mr. Denny, we have a serious problem. Rick stops putting the customer in a headlock and buffaloes him with a gun barrel. The guy, who had been trying to shoplift a mannequin dressed in a bikini, goes down with a dent in his skull. What's going on, Jenny? There's a guy in Lawn and Garden crucifying himself. Well, as long as he's not hurting anyone else. He's denouncing Black Friday. He's trying to talk our customers out of buying stuff. And we can't have that, I guess. Is he using our nails? Yes, and our hammer, too. Tell him he's got to buy him first. If he doesn't, stab him in the ribs. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Yes, sir. Jenny, a cute little college girl who has never worked retail on Black Friday before, looks excited as she runs away. Probably never even stabbed a customer before. Adorable. No! Mine! Rick turns and sees two young boys playing tug-of-war with a new PlayStation set. Both snarl at each other. One of them suddenly pushes. The other, taken off guard, stumbles back and falls. Mine, the winner says. The loser draws a 9mm pistol and shoots the winner in the face. It's been a while since Rick had to shoot a child. Never feels good. As he reaches for his sidearm, a teenage girl rushes in to grab the PlayStation. The boy turns his 9mm on her. Just before he fires, Rick shoots him in the head. The girl grins. Thanks. No problem. Be careful on your way to the checkout. Rick patrols the aisles, and he sees an old man and an old lady dueling with their canes over a toilet seat lift. He hopes this one doesn't require him to shoot one of them. Stop, you realize how ridiculous you two look? The old man growls. Go fuck yourself, Junior. She's not winning this one. I divorced you 30 years ago, George. I'm never gonna let you win. George nails her in the face, and her cracked dentures fall out. He laughs and cries with victory. Rick shoots him in the leg. George screams and falls. Just be lucky I like old people, George. The woman happily claims her toilet seat lift. Now it is noon. Time for a break. Rick hands off command to Laura Dean. He trusts her. She'd been a Marine for years before coming to the store. She can handle these mad bastards. Rick takes a nap. When Rick wakes up at the pardon me. My tongue's getting kind of dry. When Rick wakes up at 5, the store is on fire. Some customer lost the new iPhone to someone else and was so pissed off that he covered the guy in lighter fluid and flicked a lit match at him. The entire Apple department burned to a crisp, with 3 customers and a sales associate. It was only Ed Barnes, a slacker who was probably going to get terminated anyway, but Rick takes the death of anyone working for him as an insult. Luckily, Laura kneecapped the firebug and nearly has the fire under control. What do you want me to do with this shit splat, she asks. Send her to apologize to Ed, Rick says. Laura doesn't hesitate. She blows away the customer executioner style. Back into the fray. A family of 4 is brawling with a young couple over the last 3D TV. Rick only has to shoot the father from the former group to stop the fight. Later he finds Dina with a broken arm. She tried to stop a customer from killing another customer's seeing eye dog with a baseball bat. She succeeded but got hurt when the customer swung it at her. She shot him dead in return. Rick escorts her to the triage team in the warehouse. There are 3 sales associates and 2 managers with various injuries being tended to. Dina is the least wounded, so the nurses sit her down and give her an oxy for the pain. Rick's walkie-talkie goes off. It's Tim in shoes. I had to kill some guy's wife to resolve an issue, but her husband took it real personal. He's got me pinned down, and I need backup. On my way. Rick takes the escalator up to the 2nd floor. He sees Tim crouched between 2 shelves and the gunman trying to shoot him. Why do we do this every year, the gunman screams. We risk our lives for what? Rick shoots, aiming for the head. The gunman moves, at the last second gets it in his chest instead. Puking blood, he manages to get one last sentence out. Viva la revolution! He dies. Thanks, Rick. I'll owe you a beer after this. No problem. Rick looks at the clock. It's 6. Only 6 hours to go. Rick stops by Lawn and Garden to see how Jenny is handling herself. She is covered in blood, but she's smiling because none of it is her own. I got to stop a fight with a lawnmower, she says. It's interesting to be on this side of Black Friday for a change. In hardware, Rick checks in on Shinzang, the manager. Everything's fine. No one's been killed for hours, but I keep hearing something about some kind of revolution. Rick thinks back to the gunman in shoes. Keep your ears open. Let me know if you hear anything else. The tide turns at 9. Most of the good stuff from the store has been sold. Many of the shelves are empty, and the fighting has petered off. Rick feels he no longer needs his M16, so he locks it up and carries only his sidearm. This is a decision he now regrets. An army marches down the escalator. The man in charge, a giant sinewy guy with an eye patch and a beret, holds aloft a spear with a head on it. Poor Tim from shoes. Who's in charge here, One Eye asks. Rick steps forward. I'm Rick Denning. Who are you? You may call me White Friday. We in the Resistance have grown sick of this ghastly holiday dedicated unrelenting commerce and the wanton violence it causes. Other groups are attacking other megastores as we speak. You will concede this location to us. We will give you an hour to discuss this matter with your lieutenants. If you do not concede, or you wish to fight, his army all raise their weapons. Many are assault rifles. Some even have bayonets fixed. 1 hour, Denning. We meet back here. Don't make me come look for you. Shit. Rick gets on his walkie-talkie and calls all of his managers to the back office. Rick is now strapped with his M16, 2 gun belts crisscrossed at his waist, and a few hand grenades. He paces in front of his fully armed troops. In all my years of this job, I've never seen anything like this. I'll be honest. I don't think our chances are good. We're well armed. So are they. They have the numbers, too. God damn it, I refuse to give our store over to those anti-American heathens. We will stomp them into the dirt or die trying. Who's with me? They shout and cheer. Rick's got a good feeling about this. They're expecting us at 10. We gotta hit them before that. Reports from the sales associates are telling us that they've broken up into groups so they can take over individual departments. That's good. They've divided themselves, which will make them the easiest to conquer. Talk to your teams. Make sure they're armed and in position. When I give the word, attack. More war cries. They filter out of the room, eager to rile their teams up. Now it's just Rick and Laura. You think we'll make it, she asks. We got something those terrorists don't have. Rick looks her in the eye. We've got grit. Rick gives the usual... I'm sorry. Excuse me for just one moment. That's much better. Sorry. Back to this. Rick gives the signal at 9:40, and the battle begins. Constant gunshots ring throughout the store, mixed with screams and victorious roars. He and Laura enter the fray, side by side, and begin to shoot the rebels to pieces. The war lasts an hour, and it all seems like a blur to Rick. His muscle memory kicks in from when he was a SEAL, and he lets this murderous instinct take over. At one point, he sees Jenny with a lawnmower strapped to her chest. She roars like a beast as the blade spins, bloody meat still stuck to it. Not everyone on Rick's side is doing well, though. Lingerie falls early on to the enemy. So does electronics, then juniors. Each report breaks Rick's heart a little more. Still, they must fight. They must fight for the American way. As 10:50 approaches, Rick finds himself face to face with White Friday. They draw down on each other, faces sweaty, but they don't fire. The rest of the world ceases to exist. They are the only two people alive. White Friday grins. We don't need guns for this, do we, old man? You think you can whip me? I've taken shits tougher than you. Both slowly lower their guns until they let them go on the floor. They circle each other, fists at the ready. White Friday fires a quick jab, just to test the waters, and Rick slaps it away with little force. Where'd you fight, Grenada? Classified, Rick says. White Friday lunges, catching Rick at the belly. They stumble back into an empty shelf. Rick brings both fists down in a double hammer on White Friday's back. The thump echoes, but White Friday hangs on, throwing awkward and weak punches into Rick's lower ribs. Rick grabs White Friday's belt and kicks with all his might, pulling back. White Friday loses his grip and flips over, freeing Rick. He jumps to his feet, but before he can stomp White Friday's head, White Friday crawls back and pulls himself up. You got some stone in you, White Friday says. He then draws his knife and starts weaving. Pussy, Rick says. White Friday slashes and Rick brings both fists up, hitting White Friday's knife hand from beneath. The blade flies up and behind White Friday. He looks to try and catch it. Instead, he catches Rick's fist with his mouth. White Friday reels back with a few broken teeth rattling around in his head. He spits them out in a bloody wad, but that's all he has time for. Rick batters him with a flurry of solid punches until White Friday's legs fold. Dazed, White Friday can't move. Rick plucks a grenade from his vest and puts the tip into White Friday's empty eye socket. He stomps down until most of it's inside White Friday's head. Rick pulls the pin and walks away. White Friday screams until his head blows up. Rick doesn't look back. After this, the fight goes out of the rebels. Some even jump ship and disappear into America. By midnight, the last of them is swept up, and Rick gratefully locks the doors. Laura's report is good. Very few store employees were killed. There is extensive damage to the building itself, but it's nothing that couldn't be repaired in-house. All told, they sold an estimated $30.8 million worth of goods. We did a good job, sir. We did, Rick says. Tell everyone they can go home. We'll clean up tomorrow. Good night, sir. On the way out, Rick runs into Jenny. She's covered in blood and is wearing a headband Rambo style. A necklace of ears covers her cleavage. That was a lot of fun, Mr. Denning. I can't wait for next year. He watches her walk out to her car, and he worries about the next generation, the things he's done, but he never liked it. Black Friday, much like war, is hell. That was Black Friday. Hopefully you all stayed home and did not venture out to see that kind of horror. So, bottoms up.